This is big breaking emergency news. A warning has been issued for the power grid for tens of millions of people that we could potentially see issues coming later today, Tuesday, August 20th. That is what is being warned of right now. And we're getting alerts that tonight, this evening, we could see problems potentially with the power grid. All right, so let's get into the details here really quick. Please just hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm posting multiple videos a day, keeping you guys updated on all this big urgent news. All right, so an alert has been issued and grid operators are on high alert right now in the state of Texas. All right, they're having record breaking energy consumption is happening in Texas right now. Just last night, Monday night, they broke a record for energy consumption, and they're worried that we could have a similar event happen today on Tuesday as well too. Right, so the grid is being stretched to its limit, and we are also having extremely high temperatures. All right, yesterday in parts of Texas it was pushing almost 110, even near Dallas. Right, Dallas Fort Worth Airport was reporting temperatures almost 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Right, so extreme heat. And if you've ever been down there, it's a very dry heat. Right, it's a very hot, dry heat. Right, dries your lips out. Right, dries your body out. Like, you can feel the moisture being sucked out of you, and it's hard to even breathe in these situations. You open the door to go outside and it's like a heat wave hitting you, and it takes your breath away. Right, at least that's what happens to me in these southern states when it gets really hot like this. Right, especially Texas. So grid operators like ERCOT in Texas, they're on high alert right now, and they're warning that we could see records being broken tonight at peak electricity times. All right, so it says Texas, this is coming out of Bloomberg, Texas is facing its biggest test of the summer this week to keep the power on and air conditioners running as temperatures hit triple digits and push electricity consumption to all-time highs. Right, and this is a reason to always have a generator as well too. I was dealing with Hurricane Debbie just a couple weeks ago, and we had a power outage, and I had to crank the generator out in the middle of the rain, and I had to put it under a tarp so it wasn't getting soaked, and put it up on blocks so it's not just sitting in water in the yard. All right, so have a generator in case the power goes out. Could be life-saving in certain situations. All right, it says power use on the state grid is expected to reach 86 gigawatts by 5 p.m. Monday, and then test that level again Tuesday, according to the state's grid operator. It says the record of 85.5 gigawatts was set a year ago in August. All right, so they're reaching record-breaking levels again yesterday and today. All right, and says parts of Texas face dangerous heat on Monday, with an afternoon high at Dallas Fort Worth International Airport forecast to hit 110 degrees Fahrenheit or 43 degrees Celsius. 1 gigawatt can power about 200,000 homes in Texas. All right, it says extreme weather conditions have caused the Texas grid to falter, causing widespread power outages and sending energy costs soaring. All right, this happened previously during a winter storm in February 2021. Power failures and fuel shortages left millions of people in the dark for days, and more than 200 casualties happened. All right, and it says the Electricity Reliability Council of Texas, ERCOT, has warned of potential tight operating conditions throughout the heat wave, but they are expecting to most likely have enough operating power to get through. Right, so, and peak times are going to be from 5 p.m. tonight until 8 p.m. Right, this is the danger zone, because this is right when everybody's getting home. and everyone's turning on their appliances, turning down the AC, cranking it up. It's also one of the hottest times of the day, and it's also when the sun is starting to go down, right? Most of the solar panels are not at the angle. The sun is now over here. It's not really even hitting the solar panels like it is when it's up here, right? So the solar is not generating the same amount of electricity, and so grid conditions generating capacity is going down at the same time that everyone is turning everything on, right? So the draw is bigger. Everyone's using more electricity at the same time when they're generating the least amount of electricity, right? So that's the danger zone that we're worried about today, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. in Texas, right? And this could be locally as well. You could see small little blackouts or intermittent power outages, right? And it says prices for power topped 500 megawatt hours for 7 to 8 p.m. local time in the day ahead market. And it says the highest hourly price in more than 2 weeks, right? So you use about 1 megawatt hour per month at your home. So if this continued on average, some people use more, some people use a little bit less, but if you used on average 1 megawatt hour per month, which is what the average American household uses, and this price is sustained, then you'd be paying $500 a month, right? And for those hours, all right, between 7 and 8 p.m., you actually are paying $500 per megawatt hour. You're paying $500 a month for that time frame to use that electricity then, right? So that's how this works. That's how these markets work, is during peak times. And if you don't use your power, all right, maybe you could save a little money if you're really on a tight budget, but people are going to be using it. People are going to be cranking their AC, and they could put out alerts later today for people to stop using certain appliances, right? They've done that before. They did that just a few months ago. They put out an alert for ERCOT for people to stop using things like washers and dryers and big appliances like that. They were asking them to stop it, and they said it actually did work, supposedly, right? This is what they're saying. It probably did work, but at the same time, we shouldn't even be in a situation like that where the grid is vulnerable like this. Our grid needs to be revamped, and there's been trillions of dollars spent on supposed critical infrastructure rebuilding, and it seems like none of it has gone to the grid. I'm not sure what infrastructure has been rebuilt in the past few years. That was supposed to be a major policy plan. Let me know if you've seen anything, right? But our grid is vulnerable, right? It needs updated. It needs higher security as well. And it also just needs more generating capacity, and they need to stop taking power plants offline as well, right? They've taken hundreds of coal power plants offline just in the past few years, right? In the past 5 years, hundreds of coal power plants have been shut down, right? So make sure you guys have your tanks filled up, ready to go, your gas tanks as well for your car and for your generator or anything like that. Because if the power is out, you can go in your car, you can crank the AC, you can charge your phone, you can get on the radio, right, and try to get an update and see what's going on. And you can actually survive that way too, right? The AC in your car might save your life one day. So, and we've seen grid down situations in Texas. This happened in Houston, Texas, just a couple months ago as well. They had a major storm come through, right? And it had crazy winds, insane winds, and it destroyed the major transmission towers and transmission lines, the big pylons, right? The giant electric towers that you see, okay? The ones that are carrying the big power lines. There were multiple ones of those just turned over, Right, I made a whole video on it. Flipped over, destroyed, crumpled into dust. Right, completely worthless. Some of these things, they were just, it looked like they were ragdolled. Right, these massive metal structures were all bent up and destroyed from this windstorm. Right, and this happened right outside of Houston, Texas, and there are still people dealing with the situation. Okay, power outages went on for weeks and weeks for the majority of people, and then some people are still, that were directly right there in the line of sight right near this, they're still dealing with that. Homes destroyed, okay, neighborhoods destroyed, businesses destroyed. All these things they're still dealing with in Houston right now as well too. Right, and I remember reading that right after the storm in Houston, people were going out and buying generators like crazy. Right, they were gone within a few days. People snatched them all up. All the generators were snatched up from Home Depot, Tractor Supply, Harbor Freight. All right, all these places were emptied out, cleared out, because people realized I need a generator. I need power. Power's going to be out for weeks. And make sure you have water tanks and water storage as well too, in case it's hot and you're dehydrated. You need to cool down. Right, and look into different ways. There's little like swamp coolers and things that you can make, little fans that blow over water. All right, you make like a little compartment to blow the fan through over cooler water to cool the air down. All right, look into things like swamp coolers and stuff like that too. That could potentially save your life in one of these situations. All right, you don't want to be sitting there in 110-degree weather with no AC. Right, it's brutal. It's brutal. So thank you guys. I hope you guys have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.